Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. The state's two major political parties are being slammed for not supporting recommendations by a leading economist to improve the transparency of the state's finances. The Greens and independent MPs taking aim as the first session of Parliament for the year wrapped up.
The proposed privatisation of government businesses has dominated debate on the floors of Parliament for the past fortnight. Giving a University of Tasmania presentation last night, leading economist Sol Leslake says selling off GBEs to pay down the state's debt might not be a wise idea.
The government would lose more by way of income from those GBEs than it would save by way of interest if it paid down the debt.
But he also gave another example of how it could be a good move by investing sales into a future fund, an idea the Premier has outlined as part of the plan.
Like the federal government's future fund, which has shown that it can generate a significantly higher rate of return than the interest on government debt, then the conclusion might be the other way around.
Eslake keeping an open mind as he gears up to review privatisation soon, but the battle lines are well and truly drawn between both sides of Parliament.
Will you rule out Tasmanian ports going to foreign ownership?
I've said many times over the course of the last few weeks around having a very sensible and measured look at what assets we can keep.
It's one of the Liberals' key plans to fix the grim budget outlook, but a motion by Christy Johnston to get more transparency around it, as recommended by Eslake, voted down by both major parties and some independents.
It was an opportunity to put in, as I say, important accountability measures that would lead to better decision making.
The government and opposition defending their decisions.
There's a budget estimates process where we get quizzed, and that scrutiny is really important. We welcome that.
We're not going to rush to deal with motions when they don't need to be dealt with.
The opportunity to strengthen the rules has been deferred for what seem to me to be fairly base political motives.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, TasNetworks is still working on restoring power to more than 400 customers without supply following yesterday's severe lightning storms. It aims to have those repairs done by Sunday, citing staff and public safety around downed power lines. The latest information can be found on the TasNetworks website. Hobart City Council has rejected a controversial proposal to build a zipline on Canunny Mount Wellington. The council's planning authority refused the project due to a range of issues, including inconsistency with park values and noise concerns.
Based on the Wellington Park Management Plan and also the planning scheme. So on those two documents, on those two rules as it were, majority of the elected members, 6-4, were of the view that it did not satisfy those provisions.
Proponents TasZip say they are exploring all options. They have 14 days from when they were formally notified by council to appeal the decision. A 20-year-old woman and 2 teens have been arrested, accused of threatening customers at Hobart's Eastern Shore shopping centre last night. Police were called to Eastlands around 6:30. Following reports, 2 of the alleged offenders were armed with hammers. The trio was taken into custody and charged with a number of offences, including assault. 2 people received minor injuries. The state's peak nursing union claims its members have been blindsided by a decision to move the mother and baby unit from the Royal Hobart Hospital to St John's Park. The union is urgently seeking a formal change proposal and clarification on staffing commitments.
They also have concerns in terms of those women who might be impacted by mental health issues and what that might mean for them and their babies, as they are currently able to be accommodated at the Royal Hobart Hospital.
Health Secretary Dale Webster says the new service does not pose a risk to current roles or employment, and the department will consult with staff through a formal change proposal once it has determined the model of care. A new campaign aimed at turning young Tasmanians off vaping is reaching on social media to deliver its message. The initiative comes as the government moves closer to passing nation-leading legislation.
It's a campaign designed to appeal to young Tasmanians, casting a wide net on social media.
So guys, what are we thinking? Red or a baby pink for the nails?
The campaign is really trying to portray that insidious nature of addiction.
The initiative called Don't Let Vaping In depicts an online account portrayed as a vape, trolling young people online.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Brought to life on sites such as Instagram and TikTok, the videos aim to tackle a scary statistic.
In 2013, we found that around 13-14% of Tasmanian young people vaped, and that had increased significantly to 33% in 2022-2023.
When it comes to using vapes, also known as e-cigarettes, Tasmanians under the age of 25 are the ones bolstering the numbers. The online message targeting that demographic.
Public health is generally not very stealth in our public health messaging, and so that's why this campaign is so very unique in the rollout and the way that it's executed.
Research is indicating that people who vape are actually 5 times more likely to be susceptible to smoking tobacco. We obviously need to make sure that we are very proactive around vaping, particularly for young people.
Towards the end of last year, the government introduced a bill to limit the accessibility to vapes. It passed both houses of Parliament and is now awaiting a final reading when the House of Assembly returns in April.
It will ensure that vaping products in Tasmania are only available with a prescription from a GP purchased from a pharmacist for people who are over 18.
All in a bid to keep our young ones safe. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Launceston businesses are ramping up preparations for the city's biggest retail event of the year. Super Sale Saturday is returning with promises of big bargains and more unique local experiences to round out the shopping list.
We wanted to bring people into the city and show what some of these unique businesses can do. So we're doing a wheel pottery demonstration where you can come and have a try.
Building on the focus to be more about shopping local and seeing it as an open house for all of the businesses down here in the Central Business District.
The Mega Sale and Family Fun Day is on March 22. Financial assistance hasn't been ruled out by the state government to help troubled zinc smelter Nearstar. The company has told staff it's winding back production by 25% from next month due to challenging market conditions. No immediate job cuts are being planned.
We are absolutely in discussions with Nearstar. Obviously this is a concern, but we will maintain our very strong and good relationships with Nearstar.
The smelter employs more than 500 people at its factory in Lutana. The state government is continuing its crackdown on red tape, announcing a task force looking into ways to remove regulations that are burdening businesses and consumers. It will hear from a range of stakeholders from various industries on which ones need to go and why.
What our hope is with this review is that we can then reduce those costs that obviously Tasmanians are paying to get into what may be their first house or right-sizing into their next house.
We are reaching out to all the relevant businesses, large and small, productive industries, agriculture, tourism.
The task force will be established in the coming weeks. The role the community plays in suicide prevention has been at the forefront of a forum in Launceston. The 11th annual conference highlighting the importance of opening up conversations around mental health.
Suicide prevention's an area that everyone can make a contribution. It can be community members who want to make a difference, people who are willing to have a conversation, all the way through to people who provide professional services.
The event hopes to spark more awareness and help the sector work together to make a difference. After a whirlwind national tour, a local act is teaming up with a Tasmanian brewery for a special collaboration behind the bar. Duquesne releasing a limited edition drink to celebrate the end of Sumner's success on the road.
Super nice and refreshing. It's obviously called Sumner Smash because we want it to be something smashable and thirst quenching and hydrating while you're having a boogie.
Playing at home really hits different for us, and to celebrate our national tour with a sold-out home show, we've been in our feels about it.
The Tassie duo finished their tour in Launceston on Saturday night. The final touches are being put in place ahead of a bumper weekend of triathlon action in Devonport. The event is celebrating a major milestone, born from a group wanting to bring a big idea to their town.
Perfect conditions for an event that puts northwest Tasmania on the map. The 40th edition of the Devonport Triathlon now underway.
Some of our Olympians, some of our world champions have all got their start at races like this.
Craig has witnessed the rapid growth of the event, from its humble beginnings in the 80s to what the tournament has become today.
It's had a lot of changes, but it's still been here, it's still racing and still providing opportunities for athletes to go on to bigger and better things.
But for the competitors, it's their moment to shine. For Tasmanian athlete Jack Woodbury, it's a chance to compete among the world's best on home soil.
To be home here in Devonport, yeah, it's incredible to have a home crowd, so yeah, it's amazing. I have lots of friends and family coming up to watch, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
While for Paris Paralympic gold medalist Lauren Parker, the triathlon is another opportunity to compete at one of her favourite locations.
The community comes together behind the para-athletes, and I just love it. It's a great course to, for the swim, bike and run.
Devonport's mayor welcomes the economic boost the event brings to the city.
The weather is perfect, the spot is great, the location's magic, and we've got the best facilities.
Residents reminded what they should expect with several detours in place this weekend.
Just be careful out there. There's going to be road closures. There'll be different events happening out there as well on the roads.
The triathlon concludes on Sunday. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News. Tasmania's Senior Academy women's football team is hoping to ride the momentum when they face VFLW premiers Port Melbourne.
We knew coming into it and looking at playing against Norwood, Port Melbourne and North Melbourne Kangaroos, they're all strong teams and have had a strong history, and we knew our motto's kind of been to be the best, you've got to play the best, and so it was let's just see where we can go with this.
It follows their 3-point victory against Sandville W powerhouse Norwood. First bounce is at noon tomorrow. Melbourne United have taken a blow in the NBL final series. Illawarra Hawks import Tyler Harvey knocked down a game-winning 3 with just 6 seconds left to level the series at 1-1. Launceston-born shooting guard Chris Golding's reply rimmed out on the buzzer. Game 3 is on Sunday afternoon. Jared Weeks has inked an extension deal with the Jack Jumpers, which will see him remain on as assistant coach for 2 more seasons. The former vice-captain played 254 NBL games across 5 clubs before becoming an integral part of the Ants coaching staff, but he says he's in no hurry to take the reins.
I think that's a long way off. Don't want to rush anything too far. I'm just excited to be in Tassie. Me and my family love it here.
Weeks is also head coach of the Hobart Chargers. The NBL 1 South season starts on March 29. To women's Premier League cricket now, and the North Hobart Devils are dusting themselves off after being pipped at the post for a home grand final against the Greater Northern Raiders, something which could give them a big pick-me-up, the return of Tigers captain Elise Villani.
She's had a bit of a knee niggle, so hopefully that will settle over the next couple of days and that she will be available for selection, but yeah, that's a bit of a TBC at this stage.
Meanwhile, it's a different story up the Midland Highway. The Raiders still riding the high after their leapfrog victory.
If the girls can keep up their form from the weekend, hopefully we'll get the job done, which is nice.
The final will be at Invermay Oval on Sunday. And to netball, where Corona is hoping to break Kingston's 7-year hold on the Speak Up, Stay Chatty Shield. A shake-up to how the winner is decided could be the point of difference. This year, the total of both the under-19s and the women's scores will determine who wins tomorrow night's Shield.
The 19s game will be a competitive game too, and then hopefully we can just keep a close score to the Kingston Opens.
Taking the Shield away would be amazing, but more importantly, it's that we have a really competitive game against Corona.
The unders will kick things off at 6:30. Well, it's shaping up to be a big weekend in local sport, Kim.
That it is. Thanks, Vic. Peter Murphy will join us next with the weather.
Good evening. Launceston topped the list today with 26 degrees, Devonport 24 and Burnie 23, Hobart 21 degrees. Ouse also reached 26 today. Grove and Friendly Beach is a top of 24, St Helens and Flinders Island 23, Lowhead and King Island 22, Lyawini 20 and Strawn a top of 19. There was widespread low cloud about the west and patchy cloud elsewhere around the state, but no rain of note today. But to 9 a.m, Friendly Beach has received 42 millimetres in the previous 24 hours. The cloud still hovers over the eastern seaboard of the nation, more over southeast Victoria, WA and the tropics. Tomorrow, a high remains to our northwest as a weak cold front slides to its south. Winds west to northwest at 10 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots over the south tomorrow. And we have a strong wind warning there. That's from Tasman Island around to Low Rocky Point. Hobart tomorrow, 25 and a possible shower, just 40%, 24 for Huonville, a shower clearing, and 25 the top for Campania. Launceston, 25 and partly cloudy, 24 the high for Devonport, partly cloudy for Georgetown, 22 the maximum. For Burnie tomorrow, 24 and partly cloudy, Strawn showers and 21, Wynyard 25 degrees. While for St Helens tomorrow, 23 and partly cloudy, slight chance of a shower for Swansea, 25 and 23 the top for Port Arthur. On Saturday, showers extending across the state from the west, fresh northwesterly winds. More showers for us on Sunday, contracting to the west and south later in the day, snow to 900 metres. Monday, more snow in the southwestern peaks with showers over the west and far south. Possible shower for Perth tomorrow, 35 and sunny in Adelaide, partly cloudy in Melbourne, sunny and warm weather for Canberra and Sydney, partly cloudy and 29 in Brisbane. Fine in Hobart at the moment, 18 degrees, mostly sunny or a bit twilighty in Launceston, 23, same in Devonport and 21 degrees. Bit of iffy weather coming up for the weekend, Kim. It won't stop the big Spud Fest at Scottsdale though, or the Echo Festival at Swansea, two big events coming up.
They are twilighty and iffy. They come from the bomb or not. That is all we have time for tonight. We'll have updates throughout the evening, but for now, it's good night.